In this video, we'll break down the requires grading section of the grading portal, talk about how to grade different types of assignments, where you'll find student results, and how to clear out your requires grading list. To start, when you're logged into your account, if you're using your LMS, you'll want to make sure you see LMS linked here in the upper left corner. That's for any teachers using Google Classroom, Schoology, Canvas, or Microsoft Teams. Then we'll open up the teachers panel and the grading portal. Now we'll see a little number 5 next to that graph icon. That's telling me I have 5 assignments to grade within my teachers panel. So I'll click on grading and I'll see a list of my classes and some options here at the top. In order to change the sorting, so for example, if I wanted to sort by assignment or sort by student, you'll want to make sure that you choose that option before clicking on a class name. Once I choose how I'd like to sort the assignments, I can click on the name of the class that has that number 5 next to it and see all of the assignments that are waiting for me to grade. In requires grading, we'll see any teacher graded assignments. Mostly those will be speaking or writing activities, anything rubric graded. And we'll also see any late automatically graded activities. So if we set up a soft deadline and students turned it in after that deadline, we'll see any of those late activities listed here as well. Clicking on a student's name will show me the student's response to the question on the page. This was writing an original story. As you can see, I just typed in test. So you would typically see your student's version of the story there. This is an example of a rubric graded activity. To grade this assignment, I'll simply click on the box for each row that I want to give to that student. So how well do I complete the task? I might give the student a 3 or a 4, just depends on what they wrote. So just moving down, I would click in each row, choosing what score I want to give for the student. You'll also see for each activity the time spent on the page. That's the student's most recent visit to the page, so you'll be able to see the amount of time they spent there. We can also make point or score adjustments that will adjust the score by any decimal point. So you can do any decimal amount there. You can also type into the box to add points. Here below, we can add notes for the page. We could say good work or work on accents, any feedback we have for the student. And we're also able to do an audio note for the students. So clicking here, initialize audio recording, will just let me know that my microphone's enabled. Then I click record audio feedback to record my feedback to the student. The student will get notified of this feedback within Voces under communication tools. They'll be able to listen to that feedback from the teacher and see the score that they got on the assignment. Once I'm happy here, I would go ahead and click save, but we can also reset or clear the assignment. So clicking reset will actually clear out the student responses if you wanted them to reattempt it or if you weren't happy with what they submitted. We can also view on the page, which just loads the actual page itself and shows us what the students are seeing as well as what they typed in. Go ahead and save, and that will move that assignment out of requires grading and into activity results. It'll also be available now in the gradebook if we generate any reports, including that student and that activity. Now, other types of activities, in particular points graded activities, will look a little bit different. For these types of activities, we would still see the question as well as the student response. But here we'll see a red X. It will automatically be marked as incorrect until the teacher grades it. I would just click on that red X. You'll see that now the student was given a point for that question. And here I can leave notes for just that question, or again for the entire page, or the same thing, an audio recording for the page. We can change the points here as well by typing or using the up and down arrows. So you can see that that's just going to be the case with any of the activities that are not rubric graded, all going to be graded the same way here. Now, for any recording activities, you'll be able to listen to the student's audio right here in the grading portal. Same thing, you'll be able to mark it as correct, give them notes, or even leave audio feedback. The other thing we can do is we can clear out the requires grading list. You can see here that we can select different pages to clear. If I choose none, it will automatically uncheck all of the different activities. Choosing all will check all of those boxes. Of course, we can choose just one or two activities to clear out. And this is something that typically teachers will do if they're giving a participation grade, if they're just giving credit for an assignment, or just to move it out of requires grading and into activity results. Once I have the activities chosen, I can choose to mark all correct. So that will give every student who turned in that activity full credit. If I don't choose that, all of the questions will still be marked as wrong until the teacher goes in and grades those activities, which can then be done from activity results as well. I'll also have the option here to clear just my late auto-graded assignments. So any of those assignments that got turned in after a soft deadline or after a deadline at all, those can be cleared out and just moved into activity results. Those are already going to be graded, so their grade will be ready in activity results as soon as we clear them out of here. So I'm going to choose one activity, mark it as correct. I can leave a note for my students. Good job turning this in, whatever I want to leave for them. So good job turning this in, and then click grade all. You'll see a little pop-up. It's just going to mark it as graded. You cannot move them back to requires grading. So once they're in activity results, you can regrade them, but you aren't able to move them back to this view. So I'll click OK. So now that has refreshed. That is a cleared out assignment. It was just one submission from one student, which I would now be able to find in activity results. For more information about activity results or the gradebook, take a look at their videos within the grading section of the tutorials. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us using any of the options available within the orange question mark in your account.